Hi, I'm Sterling. You're learning American English with me. I don't know if you can hear all the background noise here. Anyway, this is some practice in context with questions and statements in the form of a little thing that just happened to me last night. And maybe you already studied all about question and statement formation, and positive emphasis, using the word do and all of the forms of do and don't, did, does, didn't, etc. And this story really emphasizes these things. So this is what happened, and I think it'll help you remember some things in context. Last night, we were on our way home from an errand. We were helping a friend to move to a different apartment, and we decided to try this chain restaurant that we had seen before. It's called Don Carbon. It specializes in grilled food. It's great food. It's not super cheap, not really super expensive, but it was good for us last night because we were not in the mood to go home and cook dinner. So we had a good meal, and after the meal, we asked for the check, and I opened my wallet to see if I had any cash, and I could not believe it. It was empty. I asked my wife, "How did this happen?" And she said, like she usually does, "Did you look in your wallet?" And I said, "Of course I looked. Yes, I did. I did look in my wallet. How did I manage to spend all the cash that I had? I don't know. It just disappears. Somehow I managed to spend all my cash. Now, what was I going to do?" You know, I have this bad habit. When something goes wrong, if she's with me, I panic. So I said, "What am I going to do? What am I going to do?" She said, "Why don't you just pay with your credit card? Why not just pay with that?" And I said, "Well, I didn't plan to use my credit card. I'm trying to keep my balance low. And I planned to spend cash." And then, as usual, she told me not to be stubborn. Why did she tell me not to be stubborn? Because, well, I have this habit of being stubborn. I admit it. I planned to use cash. I thought I had cash. I didn't have it. And so to me, it felt like an emergency, even though I had my credit card. So I had to contain myself. I had to calm down, and I had to admit that there was no choice but to pay with my credit card. So before I paid, I thought it would be a good idea to check the balance on my credit card, because I have this regular practice of using my credit card for as many purchases as possible, and especially for those more expensive purchases like weekly trips to the grocery store to buy significant amounts of items. Do you use your cards for this too? I would suppose you probably do. I do, because it feels safer, because I just have smaller amounts of cash in my pocket, and I can save a little bit of money by applying the credit card points that accumulate from the use of the card. You know, they give you cards every time you use the credit card to make a purchase. And in the long run, this actually saves some money. It actually does save money, because I always pay off the balance of the card before the bank charges any interest. Now, the bank, they profit from this practice because many other consumers, they pay no attention to their balance, and they forget to pay on time. Do you forget to pay yours? I hope not. I don't forget. I'm always very careful. Because when the bank charges interest, this cancels the advantage gained by the points they gave me. More than cancels it. This is really a smart move on the part of the bank. Plus, it can be a huge advantage to the person who has sufficient regular income that will allow payments to be made before interest is charged if you're a smart person. But it's a smart move on the part of the bank because they know there are many people who pay no attention. So watch out for that. Anyway, I did have enough balance on my credit card. I did not have to transfer anything. So I used it to charge our meal. You know, these bank apps are great because if I had not had sufficient balance on my card, I always can instantly pay down enough on my card by transferring right there online in the restaurant. Of course, I have to have enough money in my account to allow this. And that's the reason that a regular, well-managed income is so important. I believe that one problem many people have is having too much credit. The banks give you a little bit more credit than you should have so they can take advantage of you. Banks tend to grant a little bit more credit than you actually are capable of managing. And this is to their advantage in terms of interest charges. If I would use all the credit the bank is willing to give me, I might not have sufficient funds to pay my balance before the interest is due. And guess what? Then I would have to pay interest. Obviously, the banks know this. The banks have their tricks to keep people like us in debt. So that's it. That's it for the story. Did you notice the switch from statements to questions? I tried to use both statements and questions to express the same thought where it was possible to do that. And if you really want to drive home some good question and statement habits, listen again. Think about the rules about questions and statements as you listen, and then leave me your comments, or if you have questions, leave me questions. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you all in the next video, or I'll see you all in comments on the Facebook group. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.